Is it recording? All right. It is yours truly, Rick the Prince here, and you are watching Surface Rick the Prince here. Truly, Rick the Prince here. What's good? What's good, guys? Yours truly, Rick the Prince. You are watching.
Tell me you love me, tell me you love me, tell me you love me, love me, love me. Tell me you want me, tell me you need me, need me, need me. I could give you all the things, all you want and ever need. I could give you all the love that you.
How you feeling?
Good.
You feeling good? Thank you so much for coming. I was so happy when I was like, hey, we about to get Taylor on Beneath the Surface. Chill out, chill out. So you got her safe? You got her safe and all that?
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. Well, hello everyone. It is yours truly, Rick the Prince, and welcome to Beneath the Surface. We are here with the beautiful, the talented, the troublemaker herself, Taylor Jasmine. How are you doing? Again?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm so glad we was able to get you on here. I remember when I met you. I met you briefly last year through Mike and Shamba. You were performing.
So much was going on that day. I don't even remember.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry.
It was real brief. No, yeah, it was real brief. But actually, that was the first time I seen you was when you performed, and I was like, man, just seeing you up on that stage, and I was like, she seemed really comfortable up there. I mean, you was really.
You should have seen me before.
Your swag and everything. You was like.
Thank you.
I never forget you had the chopsticks in your hair. I was like, okay. And when I was thinking about that performance, I was like, I wonder how long it took for her to get to that point where she's that comfortable on stage. 'Cause I know something like that, watching you, I was like, that doesn't happen overnight.
Honestly, it's natural, not to sound like, cocky, but like it took time because, okay, mind you, I was a kid and very shy growing up. I'm still very shy until I get to know you, but it's still like, I still get nervous, I still get butterflies before any performance. But yeah, I think it mostly has to do with like your team behind you, like pushing you to be greater. Yeah. So that's what really helped my performance, honestly, including myself. But yeah.
Yeah. I want to congratulate you on Emotionally Fly. Your project is out. How does it? We're gonna get to the project later, but how does it feel just having that project out for the world to hear?
Man, like that's crazy. Because mind you, like I've been listening to it all year, so like it feels like finally to let my baby out into the world for them to hear it feels. I'm so grateful. Like I'm actually really happy. I don't even know how to feel, honestly. Like I still, like it hasn't really hit me. Like it's out. Like I keep getting people texting me or telling me online, like I love your album, and they can't pick one favorite song. But I'm just grateful, and I'm just happy. Like
yeah. Well, you should be. It's really great. You're from here.
Atlanta.
What part?
I'm from Atlanta, but I grew up in Gwinnett County.
Okay, Gwinnett. I went to. What school you go to?
The high school I went to growing up was Peachtree Ridge High School, but then I went homeschooled.
Okay. I feel you on that one. So I wanted to talk about your musical background in the beginning of your musical journey, because from my understanding, you wanted to be a veterinarian originally.
Yeah, you did your research.
Yeah.
I
thought that was interesting. I was like, a veterinarian? How we get to?
I know. I always loved music, but mind you, like I said before, like I was very shy growing up, and I always thought I was an introvert growing up in an extroverted family, so always could sing and loved to sing deep down, but I just was like, oh, I can never get on stage and sing by myself. Always like doubted myself and was like, I had this like obsession with animals, so like I was like, I'll just be a veterinarian. And then I grew up and I realized that wasn't my passion. Like music was my passion, so that's how that story was.
Okay, you got any pets?
I had 2, but they died. Yeah, my best friend Benny, he was a Shih Tzu. Yeah, like he died not too long ago, maybe last year March.
Oh wow.
Yeah, no, April, I think. Yeah, I'm so sad about it if I talk about it too much. But
well, yeah, let's not. So I wanted to get into how you met Mike because y'all have an interesting relationship. I did not even realize that y'all have been working together for as long as y'all have.
6 years.
Yeah, that's rare.
I know.
I want you to talk about how you met Mike and how you guys built this chemistry in the booth.
Man, well, okay. It first started off as I became a solo artist in 2014.
Because you're in a girl group,
yeah,
right?
I was in a girl group,
Okay.
and then I became solo, and then my mom had reached out to him, and then he didn't answer at first. Actually, he just read it, and then I told my mom to comment again, and he finally opened it, and we started working on my first song. That I released in, I think it was 2014 or 15, can't really remember right now. But it was called I Don't Need It, written by Shasha Jones and produced by Michael Colombo. That was my first song ever, and it just blew up. That was my biggest song. And to this day, we just been working, and it was just an instant vibe. It wasn't awkward. I just felt comfortable. I felt like I could be myself, and he has that type of energy around him where anybody just feels comfortable working with him. Right. And ever since then we just created the dopest sounds, and we just gel, we write together, we create from scratch. It's just dope vibe every time. I love working with him. So
yeah. So when you put out I Don't Need It, where were you at in your life?
I was just getting out of girl group. I was where was I at? You're bringing me back. I'm trying to think because I'm way past. Yeah. I'm way grown from that moment.
Take your time.
Where was I at? I was still figuring it out, just like I still am. Still going through the motions. I'm a person that takes it day by day. I don't really I'm not a really future person. I'm enjoy the journey every day because tomorrow's not promised, and I can't go back to the past. So I'm just thinking. I'm I was just finding myself. I don't need it. I was getting rid of bad energies that were around me, so that was the perfect song for me. I don't need it. So yeah, that's where I was mentally, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
So a little bit after that, you got involved in Pop Game.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Forgot.
It was a Lifetime show, a musical contest.
Yeah, it was.
First, how did you even get a part of that?
Honestly, doing what I'm doing now, just working hard, and somebody reached out under my comments, and they emailed my team, and they wanted me on the show. Right. So I didn't reach out to them. I didn't even know the show existed. So yeah, I was grateful to be on that network. Right.
I want you to talk about that experience, because artists really dream. Dream to have an opportunity where they can be in the studio with Timbaland and be on TV and just have this platform. It's a very interesting place to be. I want you to talk about what you were going through and how was it being in LA, right? In LA filming that.
Honestly, being in LA for 6 months was cool. The idea of it was cool. It's pretty exciting. I've never did a reality TV show at the time. Just the thought, of being on TV for a whole week, every episode, for a whole season. It was pretty dope to me. I was pretty nervous, but I already knew I could do it. I knew I always dreamt of doing things like this, so it was just a given. But working with Timbaland, it was cool. On this show, we had glimpses of him. On the show, it made it seem that we really was like me and you. And it was a few times, but it wasn't a lot. So the times that I did get to meet him and actually, talk to him and stuff, it was cool. He's a cool person, and I have a lot of respect for him and what he does. But overall, it was a cool experience, and I learned a lot, and I think it made me who I am today. But if I would do another reality TV show, no, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
No, unless I'm like executive producing it or like, you know, just performing or something. But I would never be another like cast member on a show. That's just not my vibe anymore.
Yeah, I feel you.
I don't think it ever was really my vibe. I think I just did it just you know, for experience,
Right.
and stuff like that. But yeah, it was a cool thing overall. Like, I'm very lucky. Don't get me wrong. Like, anybody who's out there who wants to be on that type of show, like, go for it if you want to. But it's really cool. It was a cool experience.
Right.
Yeah.
What is something that the viewers may not have known during that time, that was going on while you were filming?
The viewers didn't even know. Okay, I'll give you two things. That they, okay, if you see one episode in one outfit, we really shot that for like 3 days. Like,
What?
yeah, so it's not as reality as they say. And then another thing, me and the cast members were actually friends behind the scenes, but on the TV show, you made it seem like we didn't like each other.
Really?
But we were actually cool.
Really?
So, yeah, it was a lot of those. Yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah, another thing they made on the show, they make you seem like we learned the song in 1 hour. We really had like probably a whole 24 hours to learn that song.
What?
Yeah, like there's a lot of lies up there, but now hey, it's reality, right?
Yeah. Now, you release Hot Stuff
Oh yeah.
in 2018, but before that, you go back to your original name. Now, I think this is really important because it's a lot that happens subconsciously when you take that step to really like, okay, you know, even though I was on this big platform as Crave Tay, you know, I'm going to go as me, Taylor Jasmine. And I don't think a lot of people really recognize that as being like a big deal, but it's almost like a self-titled album. Like it's a big thing when you do something like that.
Honestly, it could be a big deal to a lot of people that are changing names about themselves, but honestly, it wasn't a big deal to me. It was almost like just like getting dressed to go somewhere. Like it was so easy to just change my name, even though I was on a TV platform as Crave Tay, like the name. But like I was originally Taylor Jasmine, so that's why it wasn't that big of a change for me.
Right.
I just went by Crave Tay because that was the name I always went by. But being Taylor Jasmine is just more fitting to me because that is me. Like, that's my name, and I won't get tired of it. So, you know, it wasn't that big of a change.
Now, a year later, you released Dear Me.
Yeah.
Which was, correct me if I'm wrong, your first full-length project?
Well, I did a mixtape when I was like 15, but that was my first album. Yeah. So, yeah, that project was still one of my favorites.
Yeah.
So, that released on my 19th birthday.
How did you know that it was time for an album?
Honestly, I've been doing this since I was 14. So, and I don't believe in just like, holding back music, like especially when it's good. Like a lot of people would be like, let's save this for next year because it's too good. Like, nah, let it out.
Yeah.
I had so much music in the archive where it's just like, it felt like it was time. We just know it was mutually with me and Mike Colombo, because he produced the album as well. Like it was just a mutual effect where we just knew it was just an album, and we had too many good songs. So it's like, okay, either we're gonna do an EP or we're gonna do an album. Nowadays it don't matter because EPs be having the same effect as albums sometimes.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So honestly, we did the album, and it was just time, and it did really good. I'm still proud of that album, you know, even with Emotionally Fly still out. Yeah.
Now, some tracks that stuck out to me on that was Save Us All. I connected really, really well with that one because you were talking about, you know, not only the world, but us, like our generation and how we think and what's wrong with us. I want you to talk about how you're feeling when you're writing that.
Like, okay, so I'm a natural poet, so I think that actually started off as a written like thing in my book. I always viewed the world differently and how society is, so being able to put that in a song and it can resonate with people like you know, means a lot to me. Because I do feel the other way, like the opposite of what people think. I be having a whole different view of it. So that's where Save Us All comes about, because I really feel like this generation needs saving.
Yeah.
Even the younger generation, even the older generation. You know, I just feel like it needs saving, and somebody got to say it.
Right.
You know?
Right. Another record that stuck out to me was Mama Don't Cry.
Yeah.
Now, I wanted to ask you, how is it when you get in the studio and record a record like this? Because I know it's not easy.
Yeah, it's never easy for songs like Mama Don't Cry, Save Us All, or even my other song, Sober, or I'm Not Complaining. Like, all those songs, they were probably the hardest for me to do. And I'm a Pisces, so I'm a natural feeler, so it's easy for me to just wear my heart on my sleeve and just pour it out, as for maybe other signs might have a hard time. Like, so it's really not that hard, because music is my therapy, so it naturally just comes out, and I just pour out what I'm feeling into the record and what I'm writing. And what makes it better is I'm working with someone I'm comfortable with.
Yeah.
So it's not, you know, weird.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, Emotionally Fly. I love the album cover. You know, you dripping the sauce, all that. I want you to talk about the cover. Let's start with the cover. Who shot it, and why the colors, the theme, why that?
Honestly, okay, so the cover came so naturally, and it became natural because it's what I always do, which is I love taking pictures.
Yeah.
So honestly, to be honest, my sister shot that.
Okay.
Like, my sister. Shout out to Jacqueline Kristen. She's my little sister, and she took that with my camera that I have at home.
That's
and
lit.
We just set up the background and backdrop, and I was dressed up. It was just so natural. And then I showed Mike the pictures, and we decided, because we had a whole nother like cover for Emotionally Fly.
Really?
We probably went through like 2 covers before we got to that one. And we were like, okay, this is the one. Like, we just knew off the bat. So yeah, that's how that happened.
Now the title, Emotionally Fly, what does that mean to you?
Okay, so Emotionally Fly, I like for it to mean something different to everyone. Before I give you my answer, what do you think it means?
Lord. Emotionally Fly. Okay.
What does it mean to you?
I would say Emotionally Fly would just, if it was my interpretation, it would be me embracing, you know, the good, the bad, but, you know, the sad. Yeah. And just like kind of just wearing it on you.
I like that.
That's my, you know.
Okay. Good job. Okay, so my interpretation and how I came about with Emotionally Fly, how I connected with that line. To me, it feels like, you know, all your emotions, it doesn't define you. Like, you're never too much of something. Like, someone may be like, oh, you're too much of this, and you're too sensitive, or you're too this. No, you're Emotionally Fly. Yeah. Like, I feel like it's not just a title in itself, it's a attitude to live by. It's a purpose. You know, it's an identity. I feel like it can resonate with any gender, any role. That's why I created it, and actually was created through a conversation. Like, Mike came up with it, you know?
Wow, okay.
Yeah, and I just attached myself with that. It almost felt like an identity that was given to me, like, because that is me, like, Emotionally Fly. So, you know, that's how the album was created. That's how the clothing line was created. It was just, I feel like everybody in this world is Emotionally Fly, including you. So.
Thank you. I like that.
Thank you.
Now, some records that I really like off of this. First of all, the way the album started. Let's clap it up. Clap it up, cause just like the way it brings you in, I just really appreciate that. Now, a record that I like is "He Loves Her" with Fila.
Yes.
Shout out.
La.
Tell me about that record a little bit.
Man, so it started off as its own record, and then we had actually the collaborations came last minute, like before the album was. Like, the album was already finished, and then we had the collaborations. Okay. So this was unexpected for me. I didn't even know I was gonna have such a dope artist as Shasha Jones and Fila La La on my project. So honestly, I didn't expect that. So it was a great song. It was a back and forth type of thing, you know. It was just fun. Yeah. It was just cool to create.
Another record I like is Midnight Confessions.
Yes.
And Sundown. When I tell you, because it's kind of short, so I like kept like looping it.
Yes.
Tell me about that. I was vibing to that.
Which one are you talking about? Which one should I talk about
Both.
first?
Talk about both.
Okay, here's a fun fact. Midnight Confessions, it was actually in the archive for like years.
What?
Yeah, I did that a long time ago.
See, y'all artists, y'all be holding
Yeah.
on. Y'all be holding on to stuff. Like,
That was like the one song that like never got picked. Like it was so good, but we didn't. This just felt like the right album to put it on.
Yeah.
Like finally, and that's one of my favorite songs. Sundown. Man, most of these things are created so different. I can't even remember how it was created, but it was just done.
Yeah.
Like it just got done. Sundown, I think it was like created wee hours in the morning, like really late, and I don't know, it just happened. Like I can't even recall, but those are one of my favorite songs. I penned those, so it was.
Well, I love it. I love it. I really like that project, and you did your
Thank
thing.
you.
You did your thing on that one.
Thank you.
Now, this year is coming to a close,
Mm-hmm.
and I just wanted to ask you how are you feeling mentally for 2021? Because I asked artists how they were doing or like their plans and their goals last season, and I rewatched it and I was like, well, none of us really expected the year that was approaching, which is 2020,
Right.
and everything that happened, and it was just interesting to see like what we thought was going to happen and then what ended up happening with, you know, the pandemic, you know, RIP Breonna Taylor. Just this year, I think we've been throwing the towel for this one. And I wanted to ask you, what is your mental for this upcoming year? Because you turned 21, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is big. Like, what's up?
I know, I'll be 21. Honestly, I never go into my years like with resolutions anymore. I don't do that. Like since school. Like I feel like school put that in us. Like, what's your like I don't even do that. I just have no expectations. I do what I continue to do. I keep putting out like good energy and, you know, let the universe take its course.
Yeah.
Like I always have a positive image for what I would like for my next year to be, but I just go with the flow, honestly.
Right.
You know, let life take its course. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully more music, which hopefully another project next year. Yeah, more music, more visuals, and yeah, just keep grinding. Really.
Right. I feel that. Well, Taylor, I want to thank you so much for coming on Beneath the Surface. If anybody wants to follow you or stream your music, where can they do that at?
You can follow me on Instagram at CraveTay with a C. Twitter, I am Taylor Jasmine. All my music is Taylor Jasmine. Also, you can purchase and shop with my clothing line Emotionally Fly at emotionallyfly.com.
Go ahead and do that.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you so much. Y'all make sure y'all go stream Taylor's music, The Beautiful, The Talented. Thank you so much again. I'm yours truly, Rick the Prince, and we are out.